Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, over the weekend, we're going to have a real big heavyweight fight. 3 belts on the line with, you know what I'm saying, Anthony Joshua, baby, from England. 3-belt champion, been it for a while. He only got 1 loss and came back and avenged that phenomenally. But basically a shutout against a big old roly-poly Andy Ruiz Jr. But he has handled his business up until now. Against a living legend in Alexander Usyk, who became undisputed in the cruiserweight division and did so unprecedentedly, going to everybody's backyard to do so, to get all of the belts. And before the tournament, beating people in their backyard, and after the tournament, beating people in their backyard. Should I say names? Michael Hunter, you know, in America, and your boy Tony Bellew in Manchester. The guy is a road warrior. He is the ultimate road warrior, but he's moving up in weight to go mess with a big old Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua, is the favorite in this fight. He's only 3-1 favorite, but he's the favorite in this fight. Now, 2 weak things from Anthony Joshua. 2 things that I consider a little bit weak from Anthony Joshua is that even though Alexander Usyk is a mandatory challenger, Anthony Joshua, he demanded basically that he has a rematch clause in case he loses, right? And I've seen him talking of article lately, and he was like, hell, if I lose to Alexander Usyk, then I got a rematch clause, right? Normally you probably wouldn't want to say that publicly because actually you're the champion. He's a mandatory. You shouldn't really want that. And, he's like, if I lose to Usyk, who's smaller than him, that's not too strong of a sentence coming from a guy who's supposed to be confident. But I think it's also respectful to Alexander Usyk because Alexander Usyk, he's not as big as Anthony Joshua, but he hasn't lost yet. And like I say, when you have the confidence to go to people's backyards, that means I'm going to beat you enough to where the judges who's here probably to cheat can't. That's just crazy. Now all I like to say to people who don't agree, go and do your favorite boxer, whoever that is, or your favorite 2 or 3 boxers, and see if they've done anything even close to what Alexander Usyk has. So that's why it's only a 3-1 favorite in favor of Anthony Joshua. Now, Alexander Usyk is also similar to Terence Crawford in a lot of ways. First of all, he's the only guy walking the planet right now that is boxing who's undisputed with Terence Crawford. Those are the only 2, right, that are undisputed. Right? And it seemed like the only ones that's trying to want to be undisputed. Right? Now, I'm not going to say that because I know that Devin Haney would have tried if Teofimo Lopez would have messed with him. It's a few. That's not true. But everybody's not trying to be undisputed. Right? I'm not counting Canelo because he should have been at 160 already by fighting Demetrius Andrade. So I can't count him what he's doing now with Caleb Plant because for me, he's not undisputed until he beats David Benavidez because David Benavidez is the lineal champ. Like Tyson Fury was, right, when he was out of the ring 3 years for cocaine and nandrolone, right, doped on 2 different things. Well, actually, your boy just missed weight, right, in the beginning of COVID, right, where everybody should have been missing weight. I think they should have gave everybody 3 to 5 pounds to get back in shape, right, but that's not what happened. So he was, he lost his title on the scales. He's still lineal champ, which means somebody got to see him. Normally. So actually, if Fury ran around here 2 or 3 years, he still called himself lineal champ. So that is David Benavidez. And so Canelo won't be undisputed until he beats him. That's in my eyes. And it should be in your eyes as well. Now, Alexander Usyk, like I said, he's like Terence Crawford. And the reason I say that is because Terence Crawford is moving up to his 3rd weight division, right? He's in welterweight division, and we keep saying he fought at welterweight, even though everybody's fought is either have big name or undisputed or undefeated. Cavalikas, undefeated. Jose Benavidez, undefeated. Jeff Horn, undefeated after beating Pacquiao. And then you got the Amir Khans and the Kell Brooks, who are big fighters. Matter of fact, Kell Brook even beat Sean Porter, who he's about to fight now. And people trying to act like, oh, he was forced to fight Sean Porter. Ridiculous. It's just Sean Porter don't got no title. I was trying to fight the guy who beat Sean Porter. Right? It's very simple. But, when people have a fear of somebody, then they make up stuff. Like Usyk, right? Same thing. I think Terence Crawford in the welterweight division, those other guys, all of them, Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, who else we mentioned, Sean Porter, all of them, Ugas, all of them, should have handled their business to the point to where we got one fighter who Crawford could fight for undisputed, right? But it's still a whole bunch of belts going around and 2 or 3 different champions. Same thing heavyweight division. Before Usyk came, this cut could have been settled already. Joshua could have been fought Deontay Wilder way back. We would have had undisputed, and then Usyk is coming up to fight one fight and could be undisputed right away. Right? So my point is those divisions before the Usyks or the Bud Crawfords come up could have handled their business before. They haven't. That's the problem. So that's a little bit similar with Usyk and Terence Crawford. Just neither one of those guys you want to underestimate. I think we can agree with that. So that's that. Now, let's get to some positives about Anthony Joshua. Let me preface this by saying, a lot of people will probably think, I don't roll with Anthony Joshua, which I don't. Right? I don't. Since the Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua negotiations, I think Anthony Joshua does not want to fight Deontay Wilder over the years. That's just what I've, from gathering the information, and y'all know I have information. So therefore, I wasn't really rolling with him. But it's not a American and British thing or whatever, because I always like to say my favorite heavyweight of all time, and I think it's the GOAT of boxing, period, and heavyweight for sure, is Lennox Lewis. That's just me. I don't think any fighter ever beats Lennox Lewis 2 out of 3. I think Lennox Lewis beats anybody 2 out of 3. And I don't care where he came from, if you want to count Jamaica, Canada, or the UK. Right? And when it came to him and Mike Tyson, who is American, I had Lennox Lewis the whole time. Lennox Lewis won at that fight. If it wasn't for Holyfield, we wouldn't have had no fights. You know what I'm saying? Holyfield is also awesome because he wanted to fight Mike Tyson when others didn't. And when Mike Tyson didn't want to fight Lennox Lewis, then Holyfield said, I got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that rolls. So it's not a American thing. Lennox Lewis is the baddest one to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he just didn't seem to really want to fight Deontay Wilder. Now, here we come some good stuff. Anthony Joshua has said of late, he got Deontay Wilder beaten Tyson Fury by knockout, right? He says he's just focused, and we don't know if Tyson Fury is so focused, which when it comes to me, Tyson Fury don't have to be focused. Tyson Fury's a fighter, and when he shows up, that's good enough, because he can fight instinctively, and I'm 6'9", 270, and you're not. Those two things make Tyson Fury, and he's totally rough. Go ahead and knock Fury down if you want to. He's going to get up and maul your ass. So Tyson Fury is bad boy, right? But he cheats, I think. But he's still bad. He doesn't have to cheat, but he does. But he's supposed to get knocked out from Deontay Wilder if you let Anthony Joshua tell it, which means he has respect for Deontay Wilder. Now the excuses are coming out. Well, maybe Anthony Joshua trying to get under Tyson Fury's skin, which I thought what people would say, but that's not what it is. I think it's just simply, Deontay Wilder looks like he can possibly knock Tyson Fury out. And seeing as though we've damn near seen that already, we've seen him have Tyson Fury on the ground twice. And Anthony Joshua and Lawrence Okolie, they know about the glove situation, right? Your boy who was in sparring has mentioned them. He says Anthony Joshua and Okolie knows damn well what happened with those gloves because they've seen it before. So when you put all that factor that in, yes, I think Anthony Joshua thinks that Deontay Wilder could possibly knock out Fury. But here's also good news, though. Anthony Joshua is talking like a confident champion now, right? And for me, it's monumental from the Anthony Joshua. It's totally different. This is a different dude right now because he's saying things that I've been wanting to hear. Just simple things. It's not really hard things, just really simple. And it's things like, man, first of all, I wouldn't want to be in the ring against me. That's what Anthony Joshua said. I really wouldn't be in the ring against me right now, right? Now, I know where he's coming from because Anthony Joshua got this line in him that people don't realize. They think he's all nice, but every time he gets hit and hurt, what does he do, guys? Does he be trying to run around and run around? He comes and say, come on, every single time. Now, I watch things like that. Whether I roll with him or not, I know this is a tougher dude than you thinking, right? So, and he also said, I would fight King Kong before this fight. Well, you know what I'm going to say. Well, we got a King Kong that you could fight at any time, and you know it. But we're going to keep it moving. But his point is, I'm ready to fight anybody. And here's where it gets really, really good. He said, I think Deontay Wilder's going to beat Tyson Fury. If I beat Usyk, then I'm going to fight the winner of Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. If it's Tyson Fury, I got him. If it's Deontay Wilder, I would fight him. And then he even goes further. This is where it gets real good. He says, matter of fact, if Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder and decides he wants to fight Dillian White, I'm going to still fight Deontay Wilder. Damn it, now we talking. Now we talking. Period. Now we talking. Because that's Deontay Wilder, you know he gonna be down. I ain't got no problem with him. Anthony Joshua seems to want it right now. He seems very confident. Now, I know you guys know that I always say, we know when these fights that happen that people don't really want to see, and the fighters before the build up, the week before, they start mentioning the other guy that they should be fighting. You know what I mean? Like, let's, I ain't gonna give no examples, but you're fighting somebody you probably shouldn't be, and then people are asking questions. So in that week before the fight, to hype that fight, you're basically saying, well, I'll fight that other guy that they really want me to fight. That could be happening. But I don't think so. I think that the Anthony Joshua is at the point now of being 31 years old. He's like, he knows, brother, I've been talking undisputed, and I keep talking Fury. That's not what's happening right now. Undisputed, period. If it's Wilder or whoever, or Tyson Fury, or somebody came in and knocked both of them fools out, I don't care. I got the winner. That's how Anthony Joshua should have been talking the whole time. He has this lion in him, and I'm glad he's letting it out now, and it's on. So maybe there's light at the end of the tunnel after all. Let's see what happens with him and Usyk. It's going to be a good fight, period. I'm going for Usyk. I'd rather Usyk to win, and I told you my reason why, because I know Usyk would want to be undisputed. And, when I'm kind of indifferent, I'm going for the underdog. I just think that Usyk is somebody who goes away to win belts, and you just have to bow down to that. And if you cover boxing and you watching boxing, or you found me, it means you really are into boxing. If you found me, I'm not monetized. They put me at the bottom somewhere. People can't find me. So if you found me, right, that means you're really into boxing. Then you would have to appreciate somebody who went to America to beat Hunter, went to Berlin to beat Marco Huck, went to Latvia to beat Maurice Brides, went to Russia to beat Marek Gassev, went to Manchester to beat Tony Bellew, and in London somewhere right now trying to beat Anthony Joshua. You just have to appreciate that, because comparing it to the rest of them is ridiculous. And that's why, and then he's smaller than Anthony Joshua too, I gotta go for him. But if Anthony Joshua wins talking like this, it wouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, the most important thing in boxing, with all of these belts and sanctioning bodies and corrupt sanctioning bodies, then your goal should be, like any other sport you're watching, to have one champion, which means undisputed. And I think now we're about to get it. So let's rejoice, y'all, and sit back and enjoy Joshua versus Usyk, because it's going to be massive. Doma Sports Talk worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.